Hi, I'm Alexander Nixon, and this is video 11 of my beginner's video series dedicated to sharing with you the daily warm-up I've designed to make sure I can, on a daily basis, enhance and improve all the foundations of my flow, which means hooping movement and the collaboration between the hoop movement and my body's movement. And I want to point out one thing, which is I highly recommend having many different sizes of hoops, at least two, which is to say one big one and one smaller one. And by big and small, I just mean maybe relative to each other, but certainly the bigger one is for you to basically, the bigger one is for you to work on your horizontal plane using the inertia and the weight of the hoop to give you that momentum that makes a more stable flow and gets you able to work on your technique without having to exert yourself by spinning around quickly all the time to keep the hoop in the air. So there's a little bit of a disadvantage for me with a small hoop when it comes to the horizontal plane. Alternatively, in the vertical plane, which is the y-axis or straight up and down, there is a certain disadvantage to the big one, especially when it comes to practice, which is to say you'll spend a lot of energy holding the hoop in the air because it's so heavy, and you'll do that at the expense of focusing on your technique. So what I do when I'm practicing at home, so that I'm not spending all my time and energy holding the hoop in the air instead of working on my technique, is I use a smaller hoop for the vertical plane. So for horizontal or x-axis work, I use a bigger hoop. For vertical y-axis hoop, I use a smaller hoop. Which is not to say that I don't use a bigger hoop when I do y-axis vertical work when I'm having fun, but just for when I'm practicing at home so I can focus on technique, I'll use a smaller hoop. And in this case, we're actually going to use a smaller hoop for our work with the figure eights. And I'm doing that because, again, it's a matter of not wanting to spend a lot of time and frustration with physical strength and focusing first on technique and then getting a bigger hoop so that you can put that technique to practice. So what we're going to work on today is figure eights. And in the last class, we left off working on our lasso, which was using our velocity spin to get enough acceleration to help lift the hoop off the air into our hands above our head. So let me show you that again. I've got a basics waist hooping pulse. It's very steady. I can go up and down, work on my equilibrium, rise to my toes, up and down. Just kind of work in place like that. Work on lifting one leg at a time. Just kind of play around with your body so it doesn't get too comfortable in one place. Because you always want to be moving like a cat. Be able to spin, move, turn. So play around with the full range of things while it's on your waist, and don't think it's only just waist hooping.